Denis Villeneuve is doing James Bond. That makes James Bond suddenly pretty
true.
damn interesting.
That's true. No, and also the role of James Bond is interesting. The circumstances of Bond are interesting.
Yeah.
Like the character, the world, what he goes through, that's interesting. It's like, and you have a director like Denis, it's like, there's no doubt that they're going to be, yeah.
I'd like to start manifesting. That could be interesting. Have you thought about that? I mean, have you even in your mind's eye thought about, I don't know, that as an idea?
Of course.
In practicality, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome to another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Today on the show, it's Harris Dickinson, one of our bright, up-and-coming actors, who also happens to now be an excellent filmmaker. We're talking about his new film, URCHIN. It is in theaters soon. A lot to catch up on with Harris, who's never done the pod before. Very excited to share this one with all of you. Before we get to that, I'm going to mention a bunch of upcoming events very quickly. As always, check out our Patreon. That's where we put all the early access, discount codes, autographed merch, patreon.com/happy, sad, confused. In no discernible order, I will mention these events. October 14th in New York City at the 92nd Street Y, I'm catching up with Aziz Ansari. I say catching up. I've never actually had him on the podcast, though way back when, early in my career, early in his career, our paths did cross a few times. Excited to talk to him about this one because the new film is really fun, very entertaining, big screen comedy. Imagine that, a great comedy in theaters. You'll be able to see Good Fortune at this special event at 92nd Street Y, followed by a live podcast taping of Happy, Sad, Confused. The movie is truly great. It has Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen, Aziz, many others. Check it out. Even before that, if you're near Comic-Con, you're going to probably bump into me whether you like it or not. I'm doing about 6 or 7 different events. Among them, we are going to be doing a 10th anniversary reunion of Mr. Robot with Rami Malek and Christian Slater and creator Sam Esmail. We're doing a special Alien event with Sigourney Weaver. We're doing a special Matrix event with Lawrence Fishburne. We're doing an X-Men event with James McAvoy and Nicholas Hoult. I'm moderating the Star Trek Universe panel. And there's 1 or 2 other things that I haven't been able to mention yet, but I will soon. So hopefully you've gotten your tickets by now to New York Comic-Con. Look out for me. Come say hi, cheer me on, and enjoy all the fantastic nerddom that is New York Comic-Con every year. I love it. All right, let's talk Harris Dickinson briefly before we get to the actual conversation. This is a conversation that was recorded at the Telluride Film Festival. You've heard me talk about the Telluride Film Festival. Adore this festival. It's brings out great films, great filmmakers. It is a chill vibe. I spoke to Harris relatively early one morning during the festival. It was very nice of him to carve out this time. This was the only interview I think he did at the festival because he wanted to catch up. And just a couple notes, reminder, whatever, little things to note. This is literally recorded on an iPhone, like at a condo in Telluride. So it's not going to win any awards for best presentation, but we got it. We got the video, we got the audio, we got the conversation. Harris and I were chatting, in the middle of a film festival. Your brain's a little bit fried, but enough apologies. This is a great conversation. We warmed up. He warmed up. He's delightful. I'll mention his new film, URCHIN, again. We talk about it extensively in the conversation, but highly recommend this one. I was so impressed when I saw this. This is his feature directing debut. He has a small part in it, but it really features Stephen Delaney, Frank Delaney. Stephen Delaney is the dad. I have that right? Yeah, Stephen Delaney. I think it's Delaney. Anyway, Frank, front and center, as a homeless guy in the UK with like mental issues, anger issues, addiction issues, a really interesting character study, fantastic leading performance, and just like a sublime piece of filmmaking. Really impressive for somebody relatively so young. Let's just say it. Harris just starting out. So very excited for what's to come for him as a filmmaker. This is in theaters in the US in just about a week. I think October 10th, UK around the same time. Check it out. Put it on your list, truly. But this is also his first time on the podcast, so we talk about everything. whether it's BABYGIRL, his, flirtation with big budget things, his upcoming Beatles film he's doing with Paul Mescal and Barry Keoghan and Joe Quinn and Sam Mendes. So much exciting stuff happening for Harris, and you'll see from this conversation, he's just a real legit good dude and like a true film lover. So really excited this happened. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you put URCHIN on your list of things to do, films to prioritize in the coming weeks, because it's a busy season, a lot of great movies, and URCHIN is a small one, but check it out. Support independent filmmaking, support the great Harris Dickinson. Here it is, my chat, Telluride Film Festival, me and Harris Dickinson. Enjoy.
We're jumping off a cliff together, Harris Dickinson. I don't know if it's the ideal circumstance for a podcast. It is in some ways. Congratulations, we're at Telluride.
There's worse places to be doing it.
That is true. But I just want to
Feels organic.
Feels organic.
We just bumped into each other.
We did yesterday.
We
a couple
did
times.
Yesterday, yeah.
But yeah, I want to set the scene for folks. It's a little early for us, and it's a festival. So
yeah,
we might only turn coherent about halfway through.
Yeah, you might get 20 minutes of okay content.
Yeah, that's my standard.
But as I was saying to you before, I think sometimes being a little tired helps, because if you're like, I don't know about you, but if I'm really awake and like
too wired, too
caffeinated and like really there, I tend to be more over thinky or like over cautious.
Right.
Whereas like if I'm a little more, there's an element of tranquility that kind of helps me just cope with things.
Perfect.
But intelligence might not be there.
We don't need intelligence from
coherence,
you. No, we do.
Probably not. Yeah.
No, it's good to see you, man. Congratulations, first of all. I've told you this, but for the record, you killed it with this. I'm writing, directing your first feature film. URCHIN is why we're talking today. Okay, before we get to URCHIN, though, again, we're in Telluride. First Telluride?
First Telluride, yeah.
That's the way to do it.
How many times have you done it?
This is my fourth.
Yeah.
I'm going to come as long as they'll have me, because as you're a day in, but you can tell it's a pretty cool one.
It's a beautiful festival, man.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, the setting is like nothing else I've experienced. Certainly as a Brit, there's nothing like this in the UK in terms of settings go. And then just the feeling of the festival as well. Like the first day I got here, walking around and experiencing the moviegoers and the actual experience of it is totally unique. Like, yeah, to anything else I've been to.
Running into you first yesterday, they have this nice little brunch that starts off, and it's like, I don't know about you, we have some friends, some people we know, but a lot of, it's like Jodie Foster's in one corner, and it's craziness. I found myself in a conversation with you, Paul Mescal, and Jeremy Allen White, who I'd never met, and I was like, one of these does not belong. I need to get out of this quartet right now.
Oh, no, I think we probably all feel the same, man.
But how are you in those kind of circumstances? Are you like leaning on familiar faces, friends, or can you kind of acclimate, I don't know, to that intensity?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I really love meeting people. I do, and I think those things open you up to that in the most sort of intense way. You get like all different types of interactions, and I don't know, I do find it quite interesting having those experiences with new people. But I mean, it's cool coming here with a film, because you speak to people that have either seen the film or looking forward to it or not, and then you get
I'm indifferent to your work.
Yeah. I've got notes for you. So.
No.
But yeah, and then it's nice to bump into mates and see people like Paul and Jeremy, and yeah.
Who did meet anybody yet so far in your travels? Have you met any new faces that you have some admiration for, or no?
I met Billy Crudup last night, and I had a little chat with Noah Baumbach, who's very cool.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing his film. Have you seen much already?
I've seen a couple. Let's see. Last night I saw the new Springsteen film.
Yeah, I'm seeing that today. Cool.
Jeremy kills it.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, of course
so
he does.
Iconic, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a tall task, and he lives up to it. Yeah. And then saw Colin Farrell do his thing in the new Ed Berger movie.
It's funny, I had dinner in London with Jeremy just before he started that, and he's so chill. Like, he's such a chill guy. I mean, maybe he won't say the same, but like it's the
first time I met him. So yeah,
he just seems so relaxed going into such a huge thing.
I imagine you have to, like, self-preservation for a role like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
click into a different gear or else you're going to, like, tear yourself apart for 6 months.
Have you seen Hamnet yet?
I'm seeing it today.
Oof. That was me last night, man.
It's going to wreck me.
Yes. Yes. I couldn't speak after, and I was sort of immediately bumped. Spoke to Jesse and Paul, and I just didn't know what to say. And I feel so inarticulate after those things when you're kind of hit by such a monumental experience. You don't know how to kind of verbalize your feelings. And I found myself sort of telling Jessie about her own film, and I was like, shut up, like, what are you even
Here's
saying
what
right
it
now?
means, just so
I was
you
like,
know.
and I'm like, just shut up, like. And then I tried to think what is interesting to me after I've just watched my own film. What is interesting to me is to hear people's genuine thoughts,
right,
like a genuine reaction, not just a that was amazing,
right.
Which is all sometimes we can muster is that was phenomenal, or like that was one beautiful work. But actually, what I always love is hearing
the particulars,
or like observations, and then I also sometimes like hearing negatives. You know, maybe I don't share the same with my film that I've made, but like if I'm in something, I always have a good distance for someone to be like, yeah, I did. Like,
that's amazing.
Like I told you about that dude. I think I spoke to you about it before. That the guy
in the supermarket.
In the supermarket, that was sort of gave me his feedback on Triangle of Sadness ending, and I was like, okay.
I can't wait for you to meet up with him again for URCHIN at the same supermarket. Make it a routine.
Listen, get him on the podcast. We'll do a little special, and you can just rip into all of my films.
Before we rip into all your films, no, we're not. What is it like to see like your friends like kill it on screen? To see like your contemporaries? Because I love this like group you're in, because I don't know, it feels like you're these true cineasts, like you love Criterion Closet and Letterboxd like the rest of us. Yeah. Where like I don't know, it's a different kind of generation of young talent now that I see that really like is in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, you think?
I do think genuinely.
Yeah.
No, I mean you and Paul are so cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I mean it's lovely. I mean it always feels like the best kind of fuel to want to keep doing good stuff, to see your friends working with exceptional people and like turning in these beautiful performances. I mean, and then it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you observe these people's work from afar, and then the beautiful thing is then you get to work with them and you get to act alongside them. So it's one of those really.
Yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time with Paul. We'll get to that.
I already am. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super proud of him, man.
All right, let's talk URCHIN. Like I said, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of like, young actors try their hand at writing and directing, and often they can feel like, raw, unformed. They're not quite there yet. They're vanity projects sometimes, and this just like really. And from the time it debuted at Cannes, I think people were so justifiably impressed with what you did here. I know you've been making short films for a bit, so this didn't come out of nowhere. But I don't know, like, have you wanted to direct and write as long as you've wanted to act? Like, how did this kind of develop?
Yeah, I think I probably wanted to direct before acting really took over. I mean, I was making skateboard videos as a 10, 11-year-old, and then I started I had a sketch show that I used to make on YouTube, and then I made these short films that were a little more dramatic, and I used to sort of rope my family into helping me, and I used to use, friends and stuff and shoot on a little Sony Handycam that I saved up for. So that was my sort of introduction into film. And I thought at one point I was going to be a camera operator. I was really sort of set on that because I didn't know the wider context of sort of a role within film, I guess. I just sort of knew, the making of it, filming and editing, and then as I got a bit older, I started to understand the craft a bit more, and then I was working on set a little bit as a runner during college, and then I was always writing. Like I was writing, as I said, I was writing the short films, and I was writing some plays, and then acting. I discovered acting at a similar time, but I never mixed the two. Like I never appeared in my own films. And then film school felt quite intangible, like it was very expensive, and I was looking at a few places in the States and it just didn't seem realistic. And so acting was probably more realistic for me at the time, because there was a local theatre school that I could go to, and then I went to college and studied film and theatre, and I had a bad experience with my film teacher. He was a really tricky man. Like I've spoken about it in depth in other press stuff, but like I think he kind of put me off of
directing
a film a little bit. And then acting became a bit more of a it was a bit closer to me. I did a bit of theatre, and then I started to get auditions for various different things. So it was like, okay, I'll go with this.
Right, it builds its own momentum, and suddenly you're there. It's happening.
Exactly. And then I was working other jobs whilst I was auditioning. So it was like, okay, the running, and I was still doing some stuff on set as a second assistant AC, or just a runner, and trying to kind of climb both ladders at the same time. But at a certain point, it felt like foolish to try and prioritize the filmmaking, because I was getting opportunities in the acting world.
I was going to say, this is like a big choice for someone at your juncture in your career, because like the opportunities are right now, fast and furious. Like this is what many actors work for. Yeah. And to take this time out.
It was scary. It was scary.
To take yourself off the market essentially for a year probably, or whatever it was. It's a big thing.
Yeah, and it was a strange one, because and it was a slow build, because I made a short film with the BBC when I was 22, and it was just as I was finishing Triangle of Sadness, I was finishing making that short film, and I was kind of editing it remotely in Greece and stuff, which is mad. But then we came home, we screened it at London Film Festival, and then BBC said to us, if you've got anything longer, and I immediately was like, yes, I do. I've got this script ready. Like it was this 130-page script, and it was URCHIN, but it was in a different form. Okay. And it was much longer, and it was probably really bad. And then again, it was like a 3-year period of trying to get the film financed. But once we got to a point where I said, okay, there's a certain point I do have to commit to making this film, because I can't just take acting work and,
No, you only have one shot at a first film, and this is going to set the bar for your, if you indeed want to do this as a career.
Yeah. But it was a risk, because it wasn't fully financed up until the last minute. So there was a period where I was not taking opportunities, and my team were a bit like, your film's not financed, mate. Like, what are you doing?
It's not a real thing.
I was like, real things. Yeah, I was like, it will happen. And then I just knew. I know it sounds like cliche or pretentious, but I had this deep, like, burning thing inside of me to have to make the film, and I sort of knew it was the time to do it, and I couldn't wait any longer. I know we had to wait for finance, but it was I had to do it now, and I had to try and make it possible,
So where does this come from? For those that don't know, this is, very much a character piece. This is about a guy, Mike, who's kind of caught between the cracks of a system that's, he's in this horrible cycle that we all know in the UK and the US, and indeed many places around the world, where he's got, mental issues, addiction issues, a lot going on, and can't break out of it. And it's a tragic but very human story that seemingly, look, I don't know you that well, but like, I don't know, like, how do you connect with this character, with this world?
Yeah, I think people from the outside that don't know me and know my experience or know what I'm involved in probably see me and see the work I've done, and they go, "What? What's going on? Like, what the fuck do you know about this?"
Sure.
Like, but I think, I spent a lot of time and years and hours working in that community, in my local community, with various charities that focus on helping people that are experiencing homelessness. And my dad's a social worker as well, so I've grown up around those kind of stories a lot, and I think I've always been intrigued by like cyclical behaviour in general, because it's also something I've sort of watched various people in my life deal with.
Sure.
And we can call it addiction, but really it's like more than addiction and more nuanced than addiction. It's like how we repeat patterns, right?
Yes.
On a very basic level, like how at the end of the day unsophisticated we are in our makeup, you know, like how vulnerable we are as people, right? And so I wanted to try and tap into that with Mike, someone that's similar age to me, despite everything else. Really, he's sort of battling against himself, you know, which is so common with people that have been through a degree of trauma, and I think homelessness is the backdrop rather than the focus of it, you know. And I think it was always important for me to fully understand that world and fully experience that world truthfully, but then not be tied to the sort of the rules of social realism.
Right.
And I think that in order for us to break those rules, we had to really allow scrutiny of the script. Like, for example, like the 2 years leading up to the shoot, we had like so many advisors come in and, like, you know, attack the script in the best way possible, because for me it was important that we were sort of coming at it from a truthful perspective, but then it enabled us to then go somewhere else, right? And it was interesting to me to try and tell a story like this in a way that wasn't just like bogged down with the tragedy of those circumstances. Yes. I think, like, even from working in that community, and I still am very much involved, it's like there is a great deal of tragedy, of course, and severity to it, but at the same time, what exists alongside it is exuberance and comedy, right, and fullness, and, you know,
right. It's not 24/7 misery. Of course, no one's life is, thankfully.
No, and oftentimes you find that people that have gone to the sort of the brink of morality or experience, or also exists alongside of that, is this kind of fullness of life, which I wanted to try and tap into and celebrate as well, and give a new sort of lens to that experience.
You mentioned kind of like, look, you definitely lean in, and we've talked about, like, you know, your influence of like Ken Loach and Mike Leigh and that kind of thing, but you do kind of like at certain points kind of go for it a little bit and kind of break out of kind of the realism. Was that a debate, it sounds like, or kind of like what are those choices about, in terms of, like, you could have certainly just made this feel total docudrama, but you chose to kind of go a little Lynchian a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, even if you like, I mean, I've gotten rid of my old shorts, but my old shorts, even from when I was a kid, they really did dance the line between like surrealism and realism. And I've always been interested in that, because I am interested in fantasy as well. And I'm interested in how we kind of, as people, look for escape as well, right? And I think is it important, if we're talking about addiction, trauma, and also what comes into that is sort of escapism and surrealism as well, and like what the mind can do in those circumstances. And then I think like the likes of Mike Leigh, like, I think, well, Ken Loach is a different, I see them in much different realms, because Mike Leigh finds way more absurdity in the everyday, right? Or the sort of humor in the absurdity of people, or the sort of silliness of who we are, right? And I think that really fascinates me as well. But I mean, I'm also like, I think the people I love the most, people like Lynn Ramsey or Agnes Varda, that also play with a more sort of cinematic, or Leo Carax, you know, people that can create really realistic set of circumstances and then take the audience on a more cinematic experience. I always find really interesting and challenging, you know, like also like it can be pretentious, like my ideas, right? It's a fine line. It's a fine line, and I was constantly worried about, you know, feeling like I was trying to do something that was ultimately going to be pretentious. And I think that was a conversation we constantly had, especially with our DOP, who is like allergic to that and was always like challenging it, and in the best way possible. And so was I. Yeah.
What about, okay, I mean, Frank delivers an amazing performance in this. Your lead, Frank Delaney, like, phenomenal, remarkable.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a ton of things. I mean, I know his work and his dad's work, obviously. I mean, remarkable. But you take a smaller supporting role in this.
Yeah. We had an actor drop out. last minute for that role.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we had someone lined up, and then ultimately I can
have a bloody nose. I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, talk to me about directing actors, directing again a peer. Was it a joyous experience? Is it a stressful experience? Kind of like, I don't know, like what are your directions like to Frank, or do you kind of let him have free reign?
I mean, we were quite specific. I mean, I think we were lucky. We had rehearsals. We had like a week and a bit of rehearsals before, and also what was great with Frank is that we had he signed on a long time before, like even before we had full finance, and he kind of committed to the film, and agreed to start prepping with me like long before.
It was a real thing,
yeah. And I think that really gave us like 7-8 months of just working together. And he, I connected him with various different people, and he was also working in the community and stuff. And so it kind of gave us this really slow, gentle build into it, where we were getting to know each other in a way that was like quite personal. And then in terms of on set, I think that Frank is someone he's been to drama school. He's done, he's a technical actor. He'll come in with a lot of ideas, and it was a mixture. I mean, sometimes I would try and free him of those choices, because he's, you sort of come in with ideas. You kind of want to break away from that and try it and see what happens in the moment. And he's the most versatile, sort of cantankerous kind of actor. I mean that in the most positive way. Like, he will really give you everything. And he won't mind me saying this, but sometimes those everythings don't work, and he knows that.
Sure, yeah.
And he's brave enough to try those things, and I love that, because it's like you get these really bold choices that, like even in the audition room, he came in and he was reading the scene between him and Andrea, and it was like an argument scene, but he read it like really gently, and he was like doing Tai Chi. I was like, okay, I think this is the guy. Like,
amazing.
Because also that kind of role, like in British cinema, there are, if you think there's a stereotype, right? The sort of unruly, young man, criminal. Like, there's a stereotype, and I think we were really keen to try and flip that on its head and find a new way of experiencing this kind of character. And Frank was the perfect mix of all those things. But yeah, he's deeply sensitive and thoughtful. So he's just the kind of actor that will think so deeply about stuff and really offer a lot. So it's just a director's dream, really.
What's it been like slightly now on the other side of this now, where it's starting to be seen by people, film festivals, and soon by a wider audience? I mean, like I said, the Cannes reception was pretty phenomenal. It must have been a hell of a moment. You'd been to Cannes before, but to be there as a filmmaker and to be well received, it must just be such an exhale. You're in your own head for years, and then
it was the most vulnerable thing. Cannes was like, I don't think I've ever been so nervous for something before. I've managed to kind of cope with those things in the past by,
you're part of someone else's machine, kind of, right?
And or I've kind of managed to like numb my emotions by just kind of playing it cool and not allowing myself to experience things fully.
Yeah.
And that means I've also been able to cope with it.
Yeah, I get it.
But this experience with my own film, I really tried to allow myself to experience it properly. And so I think I sort of checked in with myself and was like, look, just let yourself feel something here.
You're allowed to just feel.
Yeah, you're allowed to feel something here. And it also meant I was incredibly nervous, though. It also meant I went into that screening and was, terrified like a little child. And then, 10 minutes in, and you're feeling the energy in the room, and you're feeling laughs, and it's like the most, it's the warmest reception you could ask for, and everyone's kind of, with you. It feels like they're with the film, and then of course people like it and whatever. But more than that, it's like it resonated, and people got what we were trying to say, and people got the message or whatever it is. And so it was just it was a rewarding and vulnerable. And of course then we partied, and then you just you go crazy, and then you do
Now we'll do it again at Telluride all over again. Tell me a little bit more about so you've talked with me and others about influences growing up, Mike Leigh's, the Ken Loaches, etc. I I mean, that couldn't have been the first stuff you were watching, though. You don't dive right into Mike Leigh as a kid. You find that as a teenager, presumably.
Yeah, I was as a young teenager. I mean, my mum sort of noticed when I was making those short films.
Yeah,
she sort of noticed that I was sort of getting into more like drama. Yeah, like I guess representing people that were around us as well in our like world, and she put me onto the Mike Leigh, the Shane Meadows stuff. But then,
right.
And same with my dad. You know, my dad would put me onto bits, but. Again, yeah, normal like entrance into cinema was just the tentpole blockbusters and the stuff that we had on VHS and stuff. I had older brothers, so they always used to watch a lot of things that I shouldn't be watching. I remember like, you know, the Donnie Darko or the American Beauty, and that was always like quite disturbing, or the Butterfly Effect, like. Those very young, and then yeah, we had a cinema near us that we used to sneak into and change our date of birth on our passport and stuff and do all of that. But no, I wasn't particularly not versed in cinema as a kid. No,
not just Harry Potter kid.
No, not really.
Not really.
People tried to get me in. People tried to like force me to be like a Harry Potter kid because my name Harry. People called me Harry, so it was like, oh, you must be. You know, buying me all the like wands and shit. And I was like, I don't know if that's me, but
got it. So was there a franchise you were into? You went through a phase on? Was there a Star Wars, a Star Trek, a Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings I loved.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings I loved, and I read all of the like Hunger Games and the Maze Runner series when I was a kid. But then also, just like Batman, like I think I said to you before, like Batman was and Spider-Man, the OG Spider-Man's like, the
best.
Yeah, the best.
What do you remember give me the first actor you kind of went down a rabbit hole on, and filmmakers? Like which were the ones that you kind of like started to like, okay, I'm obsessed with this person, I'm going to see as much as possible that they were involved in?
Yeah.
Who pops to mind?
I mean, Gary Oldman was one that I watched really young I think I first watched him in True Romance, and then I went through and sort of got through all of his work and was just like, okay, this guy's next level. And then Leon the Professional was kind of doing the rounds or on DVD or whatever at the time. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman was another one.
These are the correct answers for the record, those two, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of enough, isn't it? I mean, like, yeah. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman led me into PTA.
Yeah.
No, because that made me okay. So there's frequent collaborations there, and then I kind of went down that wormhole, and then it's a constant thing, isn't it? Yeah.
What's have you met Gary? Have you worked with Gary? No.
I've met Gary. I met Gary on a photo shoot once. He had his flies undone, and I probably badly timed it and went and said hello. And he was just like shook his head. I was like, sorry, I'll let you do your trousers up, or don't. Leave him. Yeah,
he's the best. I grew up obsessed with The Professional, Dracula, all of it. Yeah. What he could do, everything.
Yeah.
And PTA, what's your top PTA? Are you a Magnolia guy? Or are you a?
I think The Master's probably.
Master's pretty great.
Probably up there for me. Yeah. I was reading about him the other day. I haven't actually seen Hard 8.
Oh.
But I was reading that because he made that when he was like 24.
I know,
right?
Yeah.
It was, and he tried to call it Sydney.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he made Boogie Nights at like 27.
It's crazy to think, but hey, look at you. Wild. I mean, you're not so far.
but Boogie Nights is a different level, man. That was yeah. That scene when Philip Seymour Hoffman tries to show Mark Wahlberg's character his car, and then he kisses him. He's like, I just wanted to show you, man.
Yeah, so sad, so sweet.
You upset with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for his new one, man.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things. I still haven't unearthed your Grease videos, your musical work as a child. I've been working overtime trying to.
You're not gonna, man. You're not gonna.
How many musicals were you in as a kid? Was it just Grease, or were there multiple?
No, I did Hairspray as well.
Oh, the lead? Were you?
No, I played Corny Collins.
Yeah, right. That's right.
But it was. Here's the thing. Like, I'm not a musical theatre boy. I really am not. Like,
Okay.
it's not a natural thing for me. I think at the time I did it because my girlfriend was doing it,
Okay.
and I wanted to spend more time with her. That sounds like a cop out, and I'm open enough to be like, absolutely loved it, wanted to do it for me. But the truth is, I didn't, and I didn't love doing it.
Right.
And it wasn't like I kind of knew that like people around me were doing singing, dancing, and acting as a
Right.
thing, and there was people around me that were like, "Oh, you need to do all three.
Right.
You need to be well versed in all three. It's like an important part." And I was just like, I don't want to like.
Gary Oldman has done a musical. It's okay.
Yeah,
You don't have to do it all.
yeah.
Yeah, he's still Gary Oldman.
He's fine, yeah. But then I got to a point and I was like, okay, I'm good. I think I can just be an actor. It's okay.
Then again, you are going to be a Beatles, so you're,
Well, yeah, but that's different. It's different, isn't it? It's different.
Were you skateboarding versus acting? What was the bigger obsession as a teenager? Would you rather, if I call you at 15, would you rather have met Tony Hawk or Daniel Day-Lewis?
Oh no, Tony Hawk. Yeah, yeah. I met Ryan Sheckler when I was 14. I think he was like peak of his skateboard fame, and he signed my skateboard. I've still got it. But yeah, that was it. I would have loved to have been a pro skateboarder. I would have been overjoyed at that. Yeah. I think I did try and get sponsored as well.
Oh, yeah.
I was like sending videos. I mean, I was crap. I was never going to get sponsored,
Right.
but at least I could try.
Yeah. It worked out. Their backup plan was okay.
My backup plan was okay. And then of course, but then there was a lot of filmmakers that reminded, like obviously Spike Jonze
Sure.
and like Harmony Korine, and that was also my entrance into like that kind of like renegade filmmaker.
Sure.
Cassavetes as well. Like making more like. Okay, there's a thing here.
Did you discover like Heath Ledger, Lords of Dogtown? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I really loved Heath Ledger as well. I mean, he'd just come off of Dark Knight, and then was it Dark Knight? Yeah. No.
Dark Knight, and then he was doing the Terry Gilliam film was when he passed. That was the end. Yeah, that was it.
Because he did 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
And I remember he's saying in his doc that he was just getting offered a load of things in that world, right? For like a year, he had to just say no to stuff.
Again, like, talking about your contemporaries, it's like you guys. There's a reason you guys talk about someone like Heath. It's like he was that guy that could have gone down a very tried and true, banal movie star path and been fine.
Yeah.
But his interests were in playing Bob Dylan and in Todd Haynes movies and Brokeback.
Yeah.
That's where the fun is, working with the great filmmakers, Ang Lee, etc.
For sure. Yeah.
So when did? Okay, so you go to theater school, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that, do the auditions come fast and furious? Like, when did it start to take off? When did Beach Rats happen versus theater work, etc.?
I left college early. I left college a year early because I wasn't having a great time, and I wanted to focus on auditions. And then I guess it was around 3 or 4 years of me kind of working in a hotel. I worked in the hotel. I actually worked in the hotel that's in the film.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was a litter picker in that same field.
Wow.
Where they litter pick. So that was both my jobs. I was doing them at the same time. And then I was doing that for a bit, and then I got Beach Rats.
Got it.
And then after Beach Rats,
Does that change things immediately in terms of?
It didn't change things immediately because I did that job, and then I had to go back to working in the hotel. And then when it came out, it changed things. So it came out year after, did really well at Sundance, and and then it kind of threw me into the industry a bit. And I from that I got some more work, luckily.
What was it like in that interim period, doing Beach Rats and then going back to work?
Well, I didn't know what Beach Rats was going to be. I had no understanding of I'd seen obviously Eliza's film, but I still wasn't aware of, like, even when I got nominated for a Gotham Award and an Indie Spirit, I didn't really know that was like a great thing. I was just like, oh, all right, yeah. Like, I wasn't really clued up about the industry. Yeah. Or like fully in the know of like art house cinema. I just was like, all right, whatever. And then ended up doing really well and, being a beautiful piece of work.
I'm trying to think actually, because about our past conversations, and I'm wondering, did you go to Comic-Con for Darkest Minds?
I did, yeah.
I think we met there actually. Now that I'm thinking about it,
We did. That was the first time we met.
Yeah, that was it. So you were again someone in your age group at the time. That was kind of the tail end of that kind of wave, the YA kind of thing.
Yeah.
So were you going up for a lot of that kind of stuff? I don't know. Was Maze Runner still being made when you were?
No, they weren't still making Maze Runner. I think they were sort of finishing that off. But
what kind of stuff were you going up for at that first wave of auditions?
It was a lot of that kind of stuff. I mean, I was going up for a lot of television. I was going up for a lot of. It was when pilot season was still a thing. I did pilot season in LA a few times, and that was like, oof.
This does not feel right. Does not feel right for me. I'm sure.
No, but I didn't know. I was just honestly like, it felt like such a far away industry and opportunities. Like I was willing to do anything. Like I wasn't
at that stage.
I wasn't at the point where I'm like, okay, let's curate a career. I was just like, let me just get any job.
Start filling up the resume with something.
I just do anything, and then so I was doing some adverts as well. I did a few adverts out of the UK, and then a few bit parts in telly, and then Beat Judge came, and then Darkest Minds came, and it felt like a sort of new opportunity. It wasn't necessarily the work I was like watching or like, but I think it felt like an opportunity to work on a bigger scale and understand like a studio film. And
it is striking though, like in those first couple years, the dichotomy of your work, and like you say, you don't really have choice early on, but somehow you were like, you're doing Maleficent, but then you have like 2021, you're in Souvenir, but you're also in The Kingsman, and then 2022 you're in Triangle. But you're also in When the Crawdads Sing. So it's this very interesting bifurcation of a career.
It's weird. Yeah, it is weird. When I look back at that CV, like I'm like, what's going on there? I don't know, like how those things, like the polarity between them is wild.
Because only so much. I mean, you have a little more control now, but back then,
I guess it wasn't. Yeah, I guess there wasn't much option. I think it was just like what was coming in, and it felt like Like the Maleficent thing was so intriguing to me because, like, to play a prince in a Disney film was like so. And at the same time, I was doing County Lines, which was like, I don't know if you saw that movie, but it's like a British, very dark film about like drug trafficking, and I was playing like a drug leader out of London, and it was the most most opposite work, but I kind of loved that as well. I was like, okay, I don't know, there's not no other world in which I'm going to be offered like a Disney prince. It's kind of like funny to me that I've been like asked to do this. Like if they knew me and like knew, where I'm from, and it's just funny to me. So I kind of took all of that, and again, like looking at the people I admired, the Gary Oldmans, or even like the Christian Bale, or like the finding like difference in characters. I was always fascinated with that, like the idea that I could be perceived as stark characters was intriguing to me.
In terms of the directors you've been working with and the experiences in recent years that have really changed your view or changed you as a filmmaker, I mean, I would imagine Triangle of Sadness, I would imagine Baby Girl, those kind of collaborations. Did those two stand out as ones that kind of shifted you as both an actor and just as a creative?
For sure, yeah, and same with Joanna Hogg. Working on the Souvenir was, albeit short, it was a really special experience, and Triangle of Sadness, and same with Sean Durkin. It was like you work with people, and you just know what you just know the good ones are. It's like, okay, this changes things creatively as well. It kind of puts you into a different space where you want to be. And Ruben was one of the most that really. Felt like it challenged me as a creative and pushed me in the best ways possible, and opened up my eyes to a whole new style of a whole new level of filmmaking, and aspiration.
We spoke last for Baby Girl, which was this very unique film in many respects, and then became, the memeified version of it. There's also like the internet version of it too, like the celebrity version of it too. Sure. I don't know, has that affect kind of like public perception of you? Do you feel a difference, like at a bar, does somebody send a glass of milk over to you? Like does that weird stuff happen associated with Baby Girl?
Yeah, if I'm honest, there was a big part of that I really didn't enjoy. Like speaking openly, I absolutely loved I'm proud to be a part of that film, and I'm proud to have worked on it. And, you know, I love Helena, and working with Nicole was just the most exciting thing for me. But the way that the way the internet, the way that the fans sort of reduced some of it was quite strange. But again, you can't really control that, and you can't really get caught up in it. But people are strange.
People are strange. And you don't want that to ruin the 99% of the experience, which was the making of it, and the finished product, which was great. But yes, you slice and dice it, and you memify it, and then it turns into something, another different currency. It's a different thing.
Yeah. Like I think it's kind of. I mean, I think it's okay to do this to male actors. Weirdly, that's the problem.
Right.
I think it's become okay and acceptable to do that, and to younger male actors. Whereas if we're in a conversation now where, like, for example, I get a lot of women say things to me that are deeply inappropriate.
Yeah.
You know, and like when I was doing that press and when we were doing the Q&As and stuff, afterwards there was some situations that were like completely unacceptable.
Wow.
You know, and it's kind of you're expected to just laugh it off.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I struggled with that experience. And, you know, people could say, oh, well, you did a film that you knew was going to be somewhat erotic. And it's like, yeah, but the film that we made and the approach that Helena spoke about, for me, it was something way more unique, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a reductive thing in my mind. Like I saw it as one thing, and then I guess you can't control the perception of it and the way that people want to talk about it and the narrative. But yeah, it is a strange thing, and I feel like I'm constantly rejecting that a little bit. Like even on the plane, someone was like, "Oh, can you dance for me?" And then she's like, "Oh, you won't believe what I was when I watched that film, and I won't say the rest." And it's like, that's not okay. Like, I don't want to know about your like sexual experience with
That's fascinating.
this story. Like it is odd.
We can talk a little Beatles now, at least that's official. We know last time you couldn't even say anything.
Yeah.
So congratulations. This is going to be a hell of an undertaking.
Thanks, man.
You're with quite a group of young actors, Sam Mendes, and this is going to be a long one, 4 films. Could you just give me a little background on just how it happened? Like, was there like a rigorous kind of like audition process, like a lot of meetings with Sam? Was there internal debate? Was this a no-brainer? Or just a little bit of just how it came about?
Yeah, I met Sam sort of middle of last year as I was finishing off my film, and he honestly I thought he was going to sort of ask me to audition for I don't know, like a sound engineer or something. Like I never expected him to say John Lennon, and there was obviously it sounds like it would be a no-brainer, but I think for me I was like, oh God, I don't think there's always the fear and doubt and insecurity of like, am I the person to take on that role? But I think ultimately it was like, okay, well, this is such a unique opportunity with such an exceptional filmmaker and an amazing group of people, and at the time it was only Paul that was on it. So if for me it was just a very obviously I'm going to do this. It wasn't like the doubts were very quickly eradicated.
The singing part of it, how big is that in terms of the preparation on your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge part of it. It's been like, it feels like it's been coming up to a year now of music stuff, which is obviously necessary.
Like, are you and Paul and Joe and Barry like playing together yet? Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be something.
Yeah. It's funny, you go into I don't want to say too much, but you go into a process like this and you think, God, I'm never going to be able to do this.
Right.
And then you look back and 8 months have gone by and you're all miraculously doing it.
Yeah.
And it's the power of like repetition and hours and what people holding you accountable is
quite a motivator.
Yeah. It's a real motivator, yeah. And they've got the most incredible music team that are just really putting us through our paces and ensuring that we're really getting up to speed musically. So I think it's going to be a really special set of films, and Sam is the most phenomenally focused and inspiring director to do this. So
it's going to be a journey. It's going to be
Yeah.
amazing. Already, it sounds like it is.
It's going to be a thing. Yeah.
Are you at the point, again, my obligatory superhero question that comes up the last 10 years, like, where are you at now? Like, I mean, I read different things. Did you audition for Superman? Did you ever do? No, you didn't do that one. Okay.
I wasn't interested.
I imagine you've done a couple, those superhero auditions.
I actually haven't.
Really?
Yeah, I actually haven't.
Okay.
Have I? No, I haven't.
These X-Men rumors, is there anything to that?
No.
Is that just not of interest if Kevin Feige wants to have a conversation, or are you wanting to have that conversation? Or
it depends, doesn't it? Depends on the role. I think, like, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think I've seen anything in the last 5 to 10 years in that universe that has been exceptionally interesting.
Yeah.
Character-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The villains,
Yep.
on the other hand,
Yep.
maybe.
Yep.
But if I'm being totally honest, yeah, working with like auto filmmakers that have a very distinct thing to say intrigues me more, with characters that are probably more closely related to the real world in some way.
I get it. Yeah. That
but
being
who
said,
knows?
Denis Villeneuve is doing James Bond. That makes James Bond suddenly pretty
true.
damn interesting.
That's true. No, and also the role of James Bond is interesting. The circumstances of Bond are interesting.
Yeah.
Like the character, the world, what he goes through. That's interesting. It's like, and you have a director like Denis. It's like there's no doubt that they're going to be, yeah.
I'd like to start manifesting. That could be interesting. Have you
Could
thought
be.
about that? I mean,
Could be.
have you even in your mind's eye thought about, I don't know, that as an idea
Of course.
in practicality? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. All right, we're going to end with this. Happy, sad, confused, profoundly random questionnaire. You've never done the podcast, so this is part of the deal. We end with this. Dogs or cats, Harris?
I've got a cat, so I should say cat.
You should.
Yeah.
That would be a
Like
betrayal of
dogs.
your cats.
I do love dogs.
What do you collect, if anything?
I collect pins.
Pins?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a
Jacket
favorite pin?
pins. I've got pins on my.
Do you have a cherished pin, like with your...
I found an URCHIN pin on that in Copenhagen that I bought, and I thought that seems fitting.
Yes. Favorite video game of all time?
GTA.
Nice. Dakota Johnson memorial question. She asked me this. I ask everybody, would you rather have a mouthful of bees or one bee in your butt?
One bee in my butt.
Yeah, that's...
Who would rather have a mouthful of bees?
It's a very rare answer.
Did she ask you that?
She did ask me that.
When?
I was asking her, would you rather questions, and she totally went up to me. She's like, I have one for you, Josh, and it's haunted me ever since, as it will you now.
That's wild.
Yeah, she's a wild lady. What's the wallpaper on your phone?
It's a photo. It's a Dante painting.
Nice.
It's a bit
Okay.
pretentious. I need to change it.
Oh, you're good. Last actor you were mistaken for?
Drew Starkey.
What were the circumstances? Is that just
I was in America and someone was like, "Are you Drew?" "No, you're not." Are you? I was like, "No." Nope.
big OBX fan, but that's not me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone. Alan Cummings came up to me and thought I was a ballerina recently, and I was like, "Nope." No.
Worst note a director has ever given you?
Do again, but better. Genuine note.
Yeah.
Do again, but better, and don't touch your hair. Don't like it when you touch your hair.
I don't like that.
Don't like that. Don't do it again.
And do it better.
Yeah.
And in the spirit of happy, sad, confused, an actor who always makes you happy. You see them on screen, you're instantly happier.
Mm-hmm. Adam Sandler.
Comes up a lot. Movie that makes you sad.
I mean, I just watched Hamnet, and that was incredibly sad.
Yeah, it's hard to, yeah.
Incredibly sad.
Sounds like
yeah.
that's the one this year.
Yeah.
And a food that makes you confused.
But The Secret Garden always makes me sad. The Boy in the Bath. I always felt very sorry for him. What was the food one?
Last one is the food that makes you, excuse me, the food that makes you confused. You don't get it. Why do people eat that?
Oh, like pickled herring?
Yeah, no, support. Yeah, I'm with
Do
you.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why?
Why? Don't need that.
Why?
Why? Don't need it. but you do you.
You do you.
What's yours?
I have a few. Beets. I'm not a beets guy.
You're not.
No. Mushrooms. I have a few. I'm a little particular.
You don't like mushrooms? No mushrooms.
No mushrooms.
I hate the big ones.
Yeah, I can get
big portobello ones.
I can get down. I can get down with like a truffle on something.
Yeah.
But that's me. That's the next conversation.
Yeah.
We did it, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
I think we were semi-coherent for 8:30 in the morning.
I hope so.
During the film festival.
Don't remember what I said, but I appreciate you having me, man. It's always lovely seeing you.
It's lovely to see you. Honestly, congratulations. I was so excited when I knew you were doing this film, and then even more excited when I saw it and see that you absolutely killed it. People check out URCHIN. Support this guy as both an actor and a filmmaker. A lot more to come. Thanks again, buddy.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't supposed to do this by Josh.